How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another Pokemon Fusions Top 10 Countdown video. Now, previously we've done Top 5 countdowns, but today I thought let's do a Top 10. And it's been quite a few days since we did one, so I thought, hey, let's just do another episode, and it's time to create another video for you all. Now, please do remember that these videos are my opinions, and they are centered around my own opinions. If you do not agree with me, then feel free to leave down in the comment section below any suggestions for fusions that you think would be cool to check out, or links to other, designs that are maybe better. But then again, that's what you guys can do if you do not agree with my opinion. Other than that, also please do check out the designers of these freaking creations, because they're amazing people. Without them, these videos would not be possible, so please check them out. And also drop a like down below if you would not mind. That will help me out. And if we can hit 100 likes on this video, then I'll be dropping the next episode tomorrow, which would be awesome. Either way, that's going to be it for this introduction. Now let's kick off with number 10. Number 10. Now, kicking off the list is going to be a fusion between Zubat and Magneton. Now, this design was created by Dark Sylvania, who makes tons of really good designs. You guys should really check her out. Now, this design is kind of creepy, while at the same time looking very, very cool, if I'm going to be honest. Now, what is weird and creepy about this design has to be that the top ball of Magneton essentially has Zubat's mouth and teeth, and the other two Magneton balls essentially have purple colored eyes. And so those things seriously do look weird with the purple color, because I never thought about what Zubat's actual eyes would look like, and having Magneton's ones instead, having them colored in purple, looks way creepy, man. Now, that's what I think about the overall design. As for what names to give this thing, the original name that was given by Dark Sylvania was Zutton, but what I think would be a cool name would maybe be Magnetbat, or Magnibat, or maybe Zubniton. I don't know, maybe those are bad names. You guys can tell me in the comment section down below. What is the better name for this design? What do you think would be a cool name? Either way, let's go to number 9. Number 9. Now, next up is going to be a fusion between Tentacle and Abra, and honestly, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, look at it. I can imagine this being an actual water and psychic-type Pokemon fusion, and I've not seen much of this sort of thing before, so hey, I wouldn't mind it. But what I love most about this design would probably be the eyes on this thing, because having Abra with open eyes, and especially those being Tentacle's eyes, really does look badass, and I love that. It looks so cool, and so much better than the original closed eyes and whatnot. That personally is my opinion, of course, but I do think they look badass as hell, and I love them. As for what names this thing could essentially have, I could imagine something like Tentatara, or perhaps Abcruel, or maybe Tentabra, or something like that could work for it. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 8. Now, next up is going to be a beautiful little fusion between Cubone and Weezing. Now, I can imagine this fusion actually being Weezing after it burnt its whole skin off with toxic waste. Now, this may be a bit crazy, but then again, it might get a bit dark. Of course, that may happen. But then again, I feel like this might be, a Weezing when its skin is burnt off and all you have left is the skeleton. Maybe a bit dark, like I said. Either way, I'd love to see something like this in the future, as I just love it. The whole body actually turns into just, like, essentially bones. It's just pure bones. That's it. And I love that. And also the smoke that comes out is brown instead of the normal purple-ish color that usually, is poison gas, essentially. Now, I've got to say, the cutest design has to be this one on this list. And I think a name for this thing would be Weebone, or perhaps Cuzzing, or perhaps Cubzing could be a cool name. But then again, those may be bad names of my own. If you've got a better one, then feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 7. Now, next up is a fusion between Bulbasaur and Sandslash, and darn it, I love this thing. I love Sandslash, and somehow this looks perfect. Having the amazing rocks at the back of, Sandslash's back essentially turned into leaves has to be one of the nicest touches on this thing, and I love it so much. Guys, it truly looks amazing. And also having the colors of, Bulbasaur put on Sandslash, which is one of my favorite Pokemon, by the way. I love Sandslash. It is on my top 5 list. It actually looks great. I love it. And as for names, I think Bulbaslash or perhaps Sandasaur would be good, but then again, those may be bad. And like I always mention, guys, feel free to leave your own suggestions down below. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 6. Now, next up is going to be a great mixture between Arbok and Ninetails, and this thing is on a creepy scale of its own. Seriously, it's on a different level. It looks creepy, but at the same time, it looks like it could be a great Pokemon to actually have. Because seriously, having a fox based on a snake design is not too bad. Now, what I think is coolest about this is the actual snake-like tails that we receive on the back of this ninetails body, and the tongue on the face and the snake face really looks weird and ominous, and I love that. I like weird shit, so this is definitely in that area. As for names on this thing, I think Arbor-tails, or perhaps, you know, Nine-book or Nine-bok, something that could work, or Arbor-tails, I don't really know. Those sort of names could work, but then again, they might be bad, and you can always suggest your own down below. Either way, let's go to the next one. Number 5. Now, next up we have a fusion between Hydreigon and Wobbuffet, and damn, this thing looks derpy, but at the same time, truly cool. I mean, look at the derpy face of Wobbuffet on the main head, but with the eyes more on the Hydreigon side of things, you know, being more based on Hydreigon, and the smaller ones being just normal Wobbuffet faces, looks really weird and just kind of stupid, but at the same time, it looks derpy and funny, and I love it. And the best part of about this design has to be those tails with the eyes of Wobbuffet that Wobbuffet usually has as wings instead of the normal wings, which is just the most perfect thing ever, man. I love it. Now, as for names on this thing, I think Hydreibuff or Wobbuffet could work. Then again, those might be bad names, so if you have anything better down there, maybe something like, I don't know, Wobbuffet, something better than that, essentially. Leave it down there, I would love to know, but I don't know about names that could work for this thing. My names may be shit, but then again, guys, that's going to be it for this design. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. Now, next up is a design by Seoxys6, who created a truly beautiful fusion between Lucario and Giratina, and this thing looks actually really gorgeous, I have to point that out. Now, Lucario is a Pokemon that I've always felt that sometimes can feel a bit edgy, not in a bad way, but it just is a very liked Pokemon, and people adore this thing, and it's always been a Pokemon that I've kind of really adored, as it is a really cool designed Pokemon. And then you mix it with the coolest legendary of all time. Actually, I mean, may not be the coolest one. I do like Lugia more. But my point is, Giratina is one of the most badass things ever, man. This thing is based on the devil himself. So you're having this thing as an actual Pokemon and mixing it with Lucario, which is just this like grudgy little like fighting type thing, is just the perfect fusion, and I love it. This is genuinely one of the coolest things ever, and I honestly just love the design, having Giratina's arms or tails, whatever you want to call them, basically being on the back of the overall body of Lucario, and then the colors of Giratina being, you know, put on to Lucario's body. I love it, man. And now for names I can think of this thing, I think Lucarina or maybe Giracario could be good names, but that's going to be it for this one. Now let's go to the next on the list. Number 3. Now, next we have the king Pokemon from each of their own region. Now, we have the cool and amazing Greninja that honestly is one of the best Pokemon of all time, mixed with the badass and epic Pokemon Bishop, and wow, they really mix well. These two are going hand in hand. I mean, just keep looking at this thing. This is amazing. Keeping the body of Greninja and having the colors of, you know, the shuriken turn into the colors that match Bishop, and having the overall body turn into Bishop colors, it's actually amazing. This is genuinely one of the coolest coolest Pokemon on this list. I freaking love it, guys. It is just so well made, and that's why it comes at the number 3 spot. As for names on this thing, I mean, I think Ninja Sharp or Sharp Ninja could be cool. I think those are actually really well made names that could work, and I don't know, maybe they're working for you guys as well. If you have better suggestions, always leave them down below. Either way, let's go to number 2. Number 2. Now, next up is going to be a fusion between Typhlosion and Umbreon, and darn it, this designer really knew what was going to be a cool mixture that would satisfy me, because mixing the Pokemon that I love the most, like Typhlosion being my second favorite Pokemon of all time from Johto, and Umbreon being my second favorite evolution, is just gonna kill my heart, man. And damn it, mixing those body features of Umbreon with the fire Typhlosion, you know, essentially is one of the best things I've ever seen. Having also the yellow circles from Umbreon's body turn into burning circles is a beautiful touch, as well as making the tail longer like Umbreon's. Like, it basically looks like Umbreon's tail is like longer, but it's more like featured to be more like Typhlosion's, with the circle around it being, you know, on fire, which is really cool. As for names for this fusion, I think Umbriflusion or perhaps Typhlosion could be good, but then again, those may be bad names. I'm not good at these things, guys. I'm not good at names, but if you think those are good, then let me know down below. If you don't think they're good, suggest your own. Either way, let's go to the number 1 on this list. Number 1. And coming in the number 1 spot, we're going to have a fusion that is just so spot on, man. And it's between Infernape and Electivire. And this is the number one on this list because of just the overall badass concept. Infernape is generally a strong Pokemon, you know what I mean? And somehow it goes so well with Electivire, which is also a really strong Pokemon. And kind of imagining these two mixing together would just be the destruction of this world. I mean, look at these two. Now, what I love about this design mainly is that it's just simple yet beautiful, and I love the style. Infernape is a Pokemon that has, no boundaries of awesomeness, and deciding to keep it with this size and not making large and round, kind of like the way Electivire looks like, and having those features of Electivire actually added to it is beautiful. And mixing fire and electric type in a fusion would be hella strong, and I'd love to see that, and it would potentially be super deadly. I mean, hey, you want to get fire burnt at the same time as you're getting staked by a freaking Thunderbolt? I don't know if you want to, but I think that would be pretty bad. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you can think of maybe better names for these Pokemon, then let me know down in the comments section below. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Also, drop a like. If you can hit 100 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. We're aiming to do that, so I'm going to release another episode for you guys tomorrow of this series. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Also, check out the links down below to the designers, and I will catch you, Trainer Z, next time. Bye-bye.